You might be thinking like, oh my gosh, she's wearing a mask again. It's gonna be another scary legend. It's not. I'm actually pretty excited today because today is the last day of my favorite celebration during fall. Fall is like my ultimate, like the October and November are probably like my most my favorite months out of all the year. I don't know, I feel like I was meant for fall. Anyway, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna talk about Dia de los Muertos. Happy Dia de los Muertos, guys. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. So yesterday and today is currently, when we're filming this, November 2nd. Yesterday, November 1st, was the first day of Dia de los Muertos. Today is the second day. Usually what happens is that on November 1st, we celebrate all of the children that have passed away. It's, I guess you could say like all dedicated to the kids. Today is everybody. So usually how this works, I'm gonna give you a little background on it. Originally, it was an indigenous tradition by the Aztecs, mostly indigenous people, and they actually celebrated for a month. So, yay! I wish it was still like that. Before the colonization of Mexico, the Aztecs would celebrate it for a month long, and it was in August instead of November. But when the Spaniards came over and started colonizing Mexico, they started trying to get rid of all of like the pagan traditions and like replacing them with like Christian traditions and Christianity traditions. For some reason, they couldn't get rid of the celebration of Day of the Dead. So what they did instead, like,
maybe they liked it.
Well, the way that I read it in my research was that they did try to get rid of it when they first got there, but like it was so much alive whenever it came along that they couldn't. Like, a lot of people knew about it. So what they did instead is that they moved the calendars. Instead of making it a month long and in August, they moved it to fit their Christian calendars for All Saints Day and All Souls Day. And so they moved it for November 1st to November 2nd. Hence, today's Dia de los Muertos. And they would actually, the Aztecs would actually celebrate or honor a goddess that was in charge of like the goddess, like of the dead, like a goddess of the dead. I don't remember exactly her name, but they would actually like, I think in a way you can say, from what I heard, like from what I see, is that goddess possibly became like the representation of La Catrina. Like, it might be, who knows. This is my favorite holiday from all of my culture. I love celebrating it. I love remembering. Day of the Dead is not anything like Halloween. A lot of people like say that that Day of the Dead is like the Mexican version of Halloween. Halloween is completely different from Day of the Dead because Day of the Dead is a very vibrant, very colorful, very celebratory time for people in Hispanic culture. We celebrate death, we welcome death, and we remember our loved ones. Halloween is more like we fear witches, we fear death, we fear like the spooky stuff. Whereas Day of the Dead is more of a celebration than it is anything else. I'm gonna talk about some cool traditions that we do on Day of the Dead. One of my favorite traditions is the ofrenda, which is basically like the altar that we do. Before Day of the Dead starts, a lot of families make a mini altar. It doesn't even have to be a huge altar, but they do like a mini altar and they decorate it with a lot of the Day of the Dead colors, like orange and purples and blues and yellows and all of this stuff, all the vibrant colors. And they put pictures of their loved ones that have passed away that they're honoring today and they're celebrating today. And they put their favorite foods, they put their favorite drinks. So a lot of the altars have food, like they probably have like mole or tacos or tequila or who knows, like chilaquiles. So they have a lot of the person's favorite foods, and that's one way they honor them. The belief is that during the night, I believe, of November 1st, they come and they visit us. That's why they have like a path of marigolds. Originally, when people in the small pueblos were closer to the cemeteries, they would make little paths of marigolds, which is what it's called in English. The little yellow, the flowers that like the orange flowers that have like little petals. They would make a trail of those from the cemetery to the person's house, so their loved ones can find their way home. And that night they would have a dinner, and it's like their loved ones would be there with them. So it's like a reunion every year for the loved ones that have passed away. So they would make an ofrenda. Another thing that we do during Day of the Dead is we're very big on like sugar skulls. So they make sugar skulls, and they make a lot of the beautiful designs that you see. A lot of people like to like paint their face exactly something like this kind of design on your face. Another thing is that they like to do like carnivals. One of the biggest images of Day of the Dead is a marigold flower, which is how you say it in English, marigolds. But their name that they call them in Mexico when they're celebrating them, they're called cempasúchil. So those flowers really do, in a way, represent like the colors. I think they have a perfect color scheme. So they're very iconic when it comes to celebrating Day of the Dead. I think what I love most about this tradition is that we don't fear death. And I think that's what makes this celebration so beautiful, is that we celebrate it, and we're saying that our ancestors probably are physically not here with us, but they're always remembered, and they always come back and they visit us. Like, they're not really gone. It's a way of always remembering our ancestors, our lineage, our family. A lot of the traditions, a lot of Mexican traditions, you'll come to find is that we're very centered on family, and we're a very family-based culture. I mean, like every Hispanic holiday, I think like the main thing about it is always going to be the food. So we have a lot of food during Dia de los Muertos, but the main course, or like the star of the show, is going to be pan de muerto, which is a bread that's around like this round, and it looks like it has a cross on top of it. And it could be covered in sesame seeds, it could be plain, and it could be covered in sugar. And we basically eat it, which it's literally, pan de muerto is bread of the dead. It's not made out of a dead person, so don't chill out. But we eat pan de muerto on Dia de los Muertos. We sometimes eat it with coffee, we sometimes eat it with champurrado, we sometimes eat it with atole. Today, I brought a little like gift. I mean, my parents like wanted us to eat this anyway, so they were gonna go and like buy one, but I already bought one, so we're probably gonna have two tonight. So I brought you guys some pan de muerto, and this is what it looks like. So this is the like packaging that I found. It says Dia de los Muertos. It's from Northgate. It smells so good. Okay. It smells so good. So this is what it looks like. So yeah, like I said, it's like a round, I don't know if you can see it. It's like a round, yeah. It's like a round bread, and it looks, well, it was technically supposed to look like it has like a crust on it, like that, but it has like these little big balls. It comes with sesame seeds, or it comes with sugar on top, and you just cut this and you eat this. You have like a little meal with your family. And then I think what I love most is that on November 2nd, after we've had our dinner, and after the legend says that our ancestors come and spend one night with us on November 2nd, which is today, the legend says that we have these like big, we used to have like, they used to make like these big, like, I'm gonna say it, it's not floats, it was a big celebration. Think of like,
parade?
Not parade wise, but like it was just like these big decorations. Yeah, like on the streets they would have also like selling like a lot of sugar skulls. They had ofrendas of their own, selling pan de muerto. But on November 2nd, the belief is that we take our ancestors, we take our family members that have passed away, and we take them back to like the cemetery to go and like put them to rest again. And that's kind of one of my other favorite things about Dia de los Muertos, is that today on November 2nd, we take them back and we actually have one last meal with them. Like we eat at the graveyard. So we eat on top of their tombs. We bring all their favorite, like we decorate their tombs. We make them all beautiful for Dia de los Muertos. And we have a meal and we like just hang out like family. And I think that's the coolest thing about this tradition, is that it's centered around death, but we switch it. We make it positive. We make it a family day. We make it like they're not here with us physically, but they're never going to leave us. So that's what I love about Day of the Dead. But yeah, this is like my crash course on Dia de los Muertos. I wanted to have more, but we kind of ran out of time because life and work and shit. But yeah, just remember, guys, that it's celebrated 2 days, and I love the legend is that November 1st, family comes and visits you, like they come back. You do a path of marigold flowers from the cemetery to your home so they can find their way to your house. You have a dinner with them, set up an ofrenda, you have all their favorite foods, all their favorite drinks. And then on November 2nd, you take them back to the cemetery and we have one last meal with them at the cemetery with family and like drinks and stuff. And we put candles, we decorate everywhere.
And you leave their food on there or what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We eat there, we leave their food there. But yeah, and then we come back home and like it's a whole festival really, because people like paint their faces, they go to town and they have like these great things to sell. They have like a nice like sugar skulls and necklaces, and it's like a day of like just, it's all colorful. And then recently, because of the movie, like the James Bond movie, and they actually had people from Mexico like do the whole parade thing. They liked it so much that they now added that kind of event to the Day of the Dead in Mexico City. So now in Mexico City, they have a Day of the Dead parade, and they take like people dressing up, they take floats, it's like a big a Day of the Dead parade. They didn't have it before. It's not like a tradition. It was barely adapted because I guess the James Bond scene was like so big. They decided like, hey, this is like, in recent years we haven't really like celebrated Day of the Dead the way we used to. It's like, so let's add this tradition and let's do something fun and we celebrate today. So that's a cool like new thing that they do in Mexico City. I would love to go and see that. But yeah, I think that's it for Day of the Dead. Stay tuned for the Coco movie. We're actually gonna go watch it tomorrow. We have a screening tomorrow for Coco, so I'm actually pretty excited. I'm gonna see how that goes, and there's a Q&A also afterwards, huh? So I might have a lot of questions to ask and like drill the team with. So I'm sorry in advance. But yeah, stay tuned for that review. I'm probably gonna come back and like film like what I thought about it real quick, and then when it actually premieres, I'll release the video and we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna put this on the kitchen and wait until my family gets home because we're gonna devour this. Feliz Dia de los Muertos, guys. Remember, never forget your ancestors, never forget your family members. They're still there with you. And today is a day of celebrating. Be sure to comment down below if you want me to talk about any other Mexican traditions, that your favorite Mexican tradition, or or a tradition in any Hispanic, like any Latin culture that you are interested about and you want to know more about. I will research it, or I will talk about it and tell you. And then be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like this video, and be sure to follow me on my social media like Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I will see you guys next time. I have to take off this mask because my eyebrow is probably gone. All right, peace out. Mexicana Americana out. Adios. Can I take it off? Ruby, I can't take